What's up, Joshua?
Joshua, we are back
For another edition of Anime Ignorance. Today we are ranking the captains of Black Clover.
Now, we haven't done a Black Clover video since we started, but I absolutely love me some Black Clover.
Love me some Black Clover. This is in reverence to the show coming back and the manga almost ending. For y'all that know, you know, we have no manga spoilers today. So, anime only, and with that, let's hop right into it. Number 12 is the disgraced Purple Orcus captain.
Welder Horzak.
This man got clapped by pre-time skip. I did all my push-ups and ate all my spinach Asta directly into a wall. So, you know, he wasn't even captain level at that point.
Yeah,
so,
Asta wasn't even vice captain level at that point, and he smacked the shit out of this man. So it's a pretty clear.
Pretty wash for anybody else on this list.
That puts us to number 11, which is the current Purple Orcus captain, which is Kaiser.
Love this squad, but their captains are trash.
He is mostly a support role mage. He does a lot of like wind type style magic and a support mage. His only real feat is during the captain fight. He was a support role to Nozel's defense.
He was supposed to be enhancing his abilities, and he failed at that because Fuegoleon popped through and socked him into a rock.
Fuegoleon was still able to overpower the both of them, but we'll get into that a little bit later.
So that's two Purple Orca captains popped directly into concrete.
But that brings us right to number 10, which is unfortunately someone who I like very, very much, Charlotte Rosa.
So yeah, her only feat ended up being kind of an egg feat because in the manga she's much stronger, but in the anime she mostly is doing stuff off screen, and she got taken over by the elves, which they gave them a power boost, so it's kind of wonky ranking them. But she was also on the losing side of the battle, I guess, because
her only role was really support as well during the captive's fight, but she was on the opposing side. She didn't really get anything significant on her. Main thing is her speed. Her only fight was really when she was elf enhanced, except for when the manga comes around. So she just sits at number 10, pretty featless. Which brings us to number 9, which is our paint boy, Dear Captain Rill. His big feat is he fought a powered up wind spirit enhanced. You know. And they fought over, during the tournament over the crystals. He fought a big old Zeus lightning bolt and all kinds of crazy stuff with his magic. So he has the most potential on this list. He could definitely grow to be much, much higher on this list in the future.
He's kind of like Hitsugaya from Bleach. A lot of potential, just hasn't grown into it yet.
And he's shown a little bit in the manga as well, but again, we're not getting into that. So that just puts us at number 8.
Nozel Silva. This dude is a menace with his Mercury magic. He has a overwhelming amount of magic because he is royals, and as you know, the classism in this show, they tell you the pool of magic is higher and the training is better because all this other stuff. But he has actual feats like going against Fuegoleon.
Even at the beginning of the series, Fuegoleon considered him a rival, which is cool because Fuegoleon has fire magic, which is supposed to be superior to Mercury magic, but considering he was still able to give him a run for more his money, and at the time Yami considered Fuegoleon stronger than he was, so Nozel was up there. He actually might have been equal to or stronger than Yami at the beginning of the series. So putting him at number 8 seems pretty reasonable and above everybody else on this list so far.
Brings us to our next captain, the Sleepy Bay, Dorothy. If you can't find her taking a nap, if you wake her up, she might just put your ass to sleep. She got dream magic, basically. It's fantastic. She can make clones of you, make you fight yourself, and the real question is, can you beat her and break out of her dimension? Most people
everybody under there on this list would not be able to break out of her dimension.
And everybody above her will probably. So that's really the big difference.
That was she's really where the middle of this list.
She's the gatekeeper.
Yeah,
strong in this list.
If you can potentially break out of what she's got, then
you're a monster.
You are a top tier in this verse, and there was a reason she was asleep for the first half of the series. I mean, she's overpowered as hell.
Every time she wake up, it gets real.
Brings us to number 6, which is the first person we think could potentially, with time, break out of her dimension.
Jack
the Ripper.
The mother insane. Bro, this man has adapted to so many different things. He was starting off cutting, normal shit like trees, rocks, all this other shit. He started cutting wind, then he started cutting fire and gravity.
Now
and
he cuts dark magic.
Yeah,
Him
now
and
he cuts
Yami
dark magic,
fight
bro, with this
constantly.
tomfoolery. And we think with enough time, he could adapt to the dimension-altering bubble that is her pocket dimension dream world and cut through her shit. Because he's literally looking to evolve all the time.
Yeah, he has shown time and time again that with time, he can cut through just about anything.
And who better to get him
Even
harder than himself?
Yeah, and as we saw when she traps people in the dream world, she usually just creates copies of them. So he'd be fighting copies of himself, which will at least make him grow stronger. And we saw him big feat. He popped a big ass Fuegoleon fireball in half, which was a pretty impressive feat considering he was taking on 2 captains at one time.
And then everyone was looking like, what?
Yeah, where did that come from? Why did that just get cut in half out of nowhere? And then Jack. Yep. That brings us to number 5 on this list, which is something we just think is too much for Jack to cut through, which would be William Vengeance.
Vengeance and that tree magic is just, we feel regenerative capabilities of that life tree is just too much to cut. And I feel like even though he could get through it in some situations, the pool of magic that Vengeance has and draws from is insane. So we feel like it would be too quick of an overwhelming for him to adapt.
Like Jack would have be able to cut through them, but Vengeance would just be able to reroll them just as quick. So
quick. So
I feel like it'd be a battle of attrition, and I just feel like Vengeance's overall magic pool would let him win that fight. But his big weakness comes in at number 4, which is Fuegoleon and his newly acquired Salamander.
Fire!
Oh my god. As we stated earlier, he was taking on 2 captains at once, basically, in Nozel and Kaiser.
And just clapping, stomping.
And going absolutely nuts. Yeah, he was absolutely murdered. He's punched Kaiser straight in his shit, and he was closing in on the
Nozel and now
before Jack came in with the sever magic. And then Nozel and Jack and Kaiser were creating a combo spell, and Salamander was about to take it on with just a little bramble shield that Charlotte had made him. Yeah. They were going head on into it. They were about to take that on, big ass combo spell and all. So Fuegoleon is definitely up there. He's when you talk about strong of the strong, Fuegoleon is where it starts.
Which brings us to number 3, strongest of the strongest, Yami.
He is technically the strongest active captain
currently. So Yami his dark matter dimension slash that he trained, the mana zone that Marileona taught him, and being able to condense his mana zone and all that other fun stuff that he has is just leagues above a lot of other people. He slashed through, like we said, a dimension in the battle with all the captains.
Yeah, in the battle with the captains, he cut through not only the dream world, but whatever spells that were there and both crystals. So he cut through literally everything all at the same time. And with one spell, in the fight with the first devil, he cut through multiple layers of the castle as well as the demon itself to create an opening for Asta to cut through. Yami is absolutely insane. We've seen him do some crazy things. His dark hole is capable of sucking up spells at will. We saw his crazy attack potency in the last fight with his death thrust. He blew a hole in somebody with regeneration magic. I mean, he literally blew his entire body away. All they left with was his 2 arms, his 2 legs, and his head. His entire torso was gone. He had Yami said this was originally supposed to just be a thrust. I mean, it turned into a fucking cannon.
He's like, I turned into a cannon.
Yeah, so he has the attack potency of a literal fucking cannon with his thrusts.
Bitches, love. He can't.
Yami is hands down the strongest captain on this list, and he is capable of cutting through just about anything.
Which brings us to 2 former captains who are just miles above just everybody else.
Who are clearly capable of being Wizard King status, which is why number 2
rank as such.
She just doesn't want it. She spends all her time in
strong magic reading. She
bathing in lava.
Marileona.
She spends 300 days out of the year in nature because she just doesn't want the responsibility of people.
Not just in nature. In places people could not survive normally because the strength of the magic would literally crush you and starve you to death.
She took them. That was one of their training arcs. Was training in the volcano where she bathes in the lava casually. When Yami wanted some training on Monozone, he went to visit her. She was literally chilling in a lava bath, naked as hell in the strong magic region.
Chilling.
Just like, oh, you need something? Oh no, that was not. But whatever.
And as soon as he learned Monozone, she was like, "All right, let's fight." He was like, "Nope, nah, you crazy. I learned exactly what I needed to learn. I'm gonna get out of here before you kill me."
Like Yami literally acknowledged that she was gonna beat his ass. Like he's like, I want to get stronger, but
I ain't trying
you
to
are
die
crazy as fuck. You might kill me, literally.
Not
So
today.
I'm not trying to fuck with you. He doesn't really know her limits, but I'm gonna throw this in here, even though this is technically just anime canon. But she fought a Wizard King in the movie. And that solidifies her as Wizard King.
Hand to hand whooped this woman's ass. It was fantastic.
So,
it was fantastic.
Which brings us to number one, obviously, the current Wizard King.
Julius
Novachrono.
What a menace, bro. The day that man stopped light magic arrows,
light magic swords coming down the entire continent.
Dude's eyeball, bro. I'll forever remember that moment. I know
the light sword was seconds away from impaling every single person on the continent. Julius stopped it.
Even before that, he was throwing light whips at him. He had time to look at the whip made of light, which moves, at light speed, obviously. So he looked at the whip. He saw it flexing at him. He was like, this looks like it's gonna be fun. And he started to slowly move back. Like, what?
He was casually just fending off the dude with light magic while protecting the entire city.
Crazy.
And it's because of his unusually and incredibly powerful time. I mean, they talked about... If you go back and watch that fight, when he first reveals his grimoire, I mean, just looking at that tells you
massive,
so many
bro.
things.
It's a whole circle. There's no.
It's a
edges,
coverless
bro.
grimoire.
It's coverless book.
It's just
crazy.
never-ending pages.
It's crazy.
There's a reason he is the Wizard King. I mean, his first time you actually see him do anything, he offs 2 people on screen and then captures the rest.
No diff.
In an instant. I mean,
diff.
it happens in so fast. I mean, it happened so fast. One of my friends is watching it currently, and he actually missed the part where he offed the 2 people. He's like, "Oh yeah, he came in and captured a bunch of people." I'm like, "Did you not?
You see that?
You ain't, I had to go back and show him. Like, it's
bad.
It's so he's actually really crazy.
This
Julius
man is just
overpowered.
miles above people, and pay attention to him because foreshadowing when it comes into play later.
There has been a lot of foreshadowing in the series that you may have not have noticed that leads to a lot of these captains getting stronger and or changing throughout the rest of the manga. And so just keep an eye on that as you're watching. And this list will change, so we will make a part 2 after everything is said and done.
If you like the video, make sure to like the dang video, subscribe to the channel. We love ranking all our favorite anime ignorance, and we will get at you later. You guys have a good one.